Skateboarding is an insanely hard sport. It takes years to learn and decades to master. And through its history, there have been many great skaters. But if you ask any regular skater who is the best skater, it's usually a question that they will scoff at, because there simply isn't one single skater that can be considered the best. There are too many different styles and variations in skateboarding to have one single person be considered the best of all the skaters. But that does not mean there haven't been skaters that have single-handedly changed the course of skateboarding forever, be it through their influence on the world, their insane skills, or even their personality. And in today's video, I'll be covering what I consider to be the top 10 greatest skaters of all time. In no particular order, because ranking who would be the best out of these top 10 would be like comparing apples to oranges. They're all great in their own domain, so without taking up any more time, let's get right into this video. Up first, we have the great Rodney Mullen. Rodney Mullen is one of a kind. He is considered to be one of the best freestyle skaters in the world. He has been skating longer than almost any other skater alive today and is often referred to as the inventor of modern street skateboarding, because Rodney basically invented every street trick that skaters do today. The kickflip, heel flip, tray flip, dark slide, Casper slide, ollie airwalk, impossible, primo slide, and even the flat ground ollie, along with many others, were all invented by Rodney Mullen. But despite his great accomplishments, he remains a very humble person. Rodney has also started several skate companies, such as Tensor Trucks and Almost Skateboards. In the mid-2000s, Rodney developed a hip problem, which he figured was from his skateboarding stance. So in effect, to correct that, he started to skate switch, so that he would be able to skate equally in his regular or switch stance. For those of you that don't skate or don't know what skating switch versus regular is, it's pretty much the equivalent of being right-handed all your life, and then learning how to right, throw a ball, and do everything that you could do with your right hand just as good with your left. Rodney Mullen is perhaps the only skater that has no stance, because he can ride switch just as good as he rides regular, and you can't really tell a difference. Rodney's life story goes way deeper than I can ever mention in this video. So if you're interested in learning more about him and some of the other greatest pioneers in skateboarding mentioned later in this video, I suggest you check out my Skate Stories playlist, where I go in depth into the lives of the most iconic skaters today. I'll have a link to the playlist at the end of the video. Number 2 is Steve Cavalero. In my opinion, Steve Cavalero is one of the most likable skaters out there. He's one of the smallest members of the original Bones Brigade, but also without a doubt the gnarliest. In 1987, Cabello won both street and vert titles at the World Championships in Münster, Germany. The same year, he set the world record for the highest air achieved on a halfpipe, which at the time was 11 feet, although Caballero's record was later beaten by Danny Way. And in 1999, Caballero set another world record for the longest board slide on a 44-step handrail. Along with those crazy achievements, Steve Cavalero was also the inventor of the half cab and the Cavalero, also known as the full cab. Nowadays, Steve is really into dirt bike riding, along with skateboarding of course, and on his latest appearance on the 9 Club, it shows that Steve is a national treasure and a true legend. Number 3 is Danny Way. And Danny Way is an absolute legend when it comes to big air and breaking skateboarding world records. He's also one of the only skaters that have been awarded Thrasher Magazine's Skater of the Year twice. Listing all of his achievements and records could take up an entire video by itself, but here are some of the most notable ones in my opinion. He was the first skater to ever drop into a ramp from a helicopter. He holds the world record for the biggest air of 12 feet, and then he broke his own record later with 18 feet, and then he ended up breaking it again with 23.5 feet. He also set the world record for the longest distance jump of 65 feet, only to break his own record again by jumping 75 feet, and then breaking it once again by jumping 79 feet. He's also the first and only skater to have ever jumped the Great Wall of China, and if you think the only thing he can do is jump mega ramps and break records, if that wasn't enough, well, you'd be wrong, because he's an absolute beast on rails as well. Number 4, Chris Cole. Chris Cole is best known for going huge. He first gained attention following the completion of a number of very difficult tricks on iconic spots, including but not limited to a massive tray flip down Rollingberg, a backside 360 kickflip down the Carlsbad Gap, and most notable, a backside flip, switch frontside flip, and backside 360 down the Love Park Fountain in Philadelphia, as can be seen in his Transworld and Bloom and Fallen Ride the Sky video parts. In addition to this huge stuff, Chris is also very consistent and can put down together lines and runs, resulting in him being a very dominant competitor in skateboarding competitions. His 3 Maloof Money Cup wins, X Games and Gravity Games medals, Battle at the Barracks, Thrasher King of the Road, and S Games skate wins prove that he is one of the most skilled and consistent skaters still active today. And if that's somehow not enough proof that Chris Cole deserves a spot on this list, he was also Thrasher Skater of the Year twice. Number 5 on this list is Tony Hawk. There is absolutely no top 10 skaters list that would be complete without the great Tony Hawk. Tony is easily the most recognizable figure in skateboarding history. His career has spanned over 30 years, and Tony has won over 70 contests, more contests than any other skateboarder in history. He has invented several tricks such as the Madonna, the Stalefish, and the Sack Tap, and he has performed the first ever 900 during a competition. Tony Hawk has inspired so many skaters and contributed so much to skateboarding that without him and the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, skateboarding wouldn't be where it is today. He has over 18 video game titles, countless movie and TV appearances, he started the YouTube Ride channel, and he builds skate parks all over the world with his Tony Hawk Foundation. There is no doubt that Tony is easily one of the greatest, richest, and possibly one of the most influential skaters that have ever existed. And despite being such a star, he remains very humble and down to earth. With number 6, we're going back to Big Air and Bob Burnquist. When Danny Way would break world records on vert ramps, Bob Burnquist would create new tricks and dominate competitions. His specialties are switch skateboarding, and his signature trick is called the one-footed Smith grind. He was also the first skater to ever land a fakie 900. Burnquist has won a lot of competitions, but his biggest competition victory to date came in a vert contest at the 2001 X Games, where he had an absolutely flawless last run, including multiple tricks that have never been seen before, and as a result were unnamed. Burnquist was rewarded with a score of 98 out of 100, the second highest score ever given in any X Games skateboarding event. Unrelated to competitions, in 2006, Burnquist completed a base jump after doing a 50-50 on a rail overhanging the Great Canyon. And last but not least, Bob Burnquist also has undoubtedly one of the coolest backyards out of any skateboarder. Called Bob Burnquist's Dreamland, where he has a giant vert bowl, a metal full pipe, a loop that almost killed Tony Hawk, a corkscrew, and of course, the iconic massive mega ramp. Number 7, Mark Gonzalez. The Gonz is considered the pioneer of modern street skating. Him and Nadas were the first people to ever skate handrails, and the Gonz was one of the first people to ever do big gaps and stair sets. He would do double flips, 360s, nollies, and other flip tricks out of manuals and grinds, which is something that very few skaters were even able to think of at the time. While by today's standards, his skateboarding may seem pretty basic, back then he was completely ahead of his time. The Gonz was the guy that started it all, and street skaters owe him a debt of gratitude forever. His video parts were revolutionary in the world of skateboarding, and when they released, it resulted in the birth of the skateboarding that we see today. Number 8, Tony Alva. Skateboarders and the skate industry will forever be in debt to the skateboarding legend Tony Alva. Not only is he credited for the first frontside air, creating vert skating, and pretty much being the creator of modern skateboarding culture, he also helped in development of the first ever skateboarding shoes by Vans. He started the first skater-owned and operated skate company, Alva Skates, which was one of the first companies to make decks out of Canadian maple plywood, which is what modern skateboards are made out of today. Alva joined the Z-Boys team in 1972 and was one of the first who made pool skating popular, starting a new wave in skateboarding that is still around today. Some refer to him as the guy who started it all because of his counterculture rockstar persona. It's thanks to Tony Alva that skateboarding is what it is today, and in my opinion, he's possibly one of the most underrated founders of modern skateboarding based on how poorly my Skate Stories video did on him compared to the others, if that's even a good metric to judge by, but I don't see his name get brought up nearly enough as it should. And I highly recommend that you check out my video on him because his story is one of the most interesting ones out there, and to this day, he still does what he loves most: skate, surf, and play music. Number 9, Eric Costin. Costin is a pioneer and a pro skater that is on every pro skater's top 10 list. He was doing unusual tricks on big handrails, ledges, and gaps when most skaters were walking past those obstacles. His name is featured in almost every prominent skate video from the 90s to the 2000s, and for a good reason. Not only did he bring something new to the table every time, but in my opinion, he's one of the most entertaining skaters to watch, even when he's not skateboarding.
Okay, so I'm trying to skate over here at the park, right? There's this drama, and I see him taking him back towards the van, right? Mine and Tony's windows are gone for some reason. And look in where my wallet was, minus the cash.
You know what? It's my wallet. I didn't do this, man.
All your pockets now. All your pockets now. All your pockets now.
Okay.
All your pockets now.
I'm not doing this.
And on top of that, Costa's a very recognizable style that is clean, smooth, yet also technical. Costa's also been featured in the Tony Hawk video game series and also in Skate 2 and Skate 3. And today he's a co-owner of the Barracks with Steve Barra. Number 10, Daewon Song. The beauty in skateboarding is that anybody can develop their own style and identity with the sport, kind of like a musician or an artist. Daewon is definitely an artist. He goes against all the conventional ways of thinking when he skates. His creative ways of using weird objects and obstacles to push beyond just a skateboard as a source of inspiration is incredibly unique, and it's always entertaining to watch because you never know what he's going to come up with next. He's proof that there is no wrong way to skateboard, just as long as you love doing it. Daewon is definitely one of the most creative skaters of our time, and he's also a co-owner of Almost Skateboards with Rodney Mullen. And he was named Skater of the Year by Thrasher Magazine in 2006. As for now, that's all I have for this list, and I already know that I missed out on a lot of details and a lot of skaters that you guys probably wish I included. If you guys want to check out my Skate Stories series, I go in depth a lot more into individual skaters. It's right here. I don't have every single skater on there, but I'm working there, eventually get there. And let me know what skaters I should include if I make a part 2 of this video sometime down the road. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.